Welcome back. For this week's fly, we're going to go with my all 16ths emerger. It started out, I thought I had one of them around here somewhere. This one started out, my cousin Darren did a Caddis pupa that was just a really great and really effective pattern for us. We caught a ton of fish on that. And I just kind of tweaked a couple of things. Maybe one of these days we'll do his pattern. But I tweaked a couple of things to where it can kind of apply to just about any emerger out there, whether it be Mayfly, Caddis, you name it. But to start on this, we're just going to go ahead and take about half of a Z-Lon strand. So, and the rest of it you can just go ahead and set aside for something else or discard it. It's up to you. But, like I said, we're just going to start out with half of a strand of Z-Lon. Go ahead and get my thread started here. We're tying on a Daiichi 1120 size 12. It's just a curved Caddis hook. And then for our bead, we have the killer Caddis eyes. I believe that's a size large. It's either medium or large. They don't have them marked on the package, so I'm going to go with a large. I basically only run these in two different sizes. The bigger size, which I'm using for this, and then the smaller ones that I'll run on some zebra midges and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take our thread, and this is the same thread that I always use on the MC merger patterns. It's just the 8/0 rusty brown or whatever's on the bobbin at the time. But we're gonna go ahead and measure out from the eye of our hook right to where our bend starts, and that's going to be our distance that we use on this. And we're going to go ahead and just get a couple of quick thread wraps right in place here, and you can go ahead and just take this down. We may wind up trimming that tail just slightly, we'll see. But you're going to take this down to about halfway on your bend. So halfway on this curved portion here is where you're going to stop your thread. And we're just going to go ahead and tie in a single strand of gold Flashabou. And then open loop this up to the front. And we'll take it just about the entire way. We're going to stop just a little bit shy of our Caddis bead. And we're just going to go ahead and bring this right back around. So like I said, you can tailor this to any emerger that you're trying to imitate, whether it be Caddis, a blue wing. If you want to do a blue wing, just change up your colors a little bit. You'd be a little bit more grayish brown in the back and then a darker olive up front. Let me make sure that we're still in focus here. Everything looks pretty good. If you want to do like a March brown, like we're going to do today, or a Cahill, this one that we're going to do could pass for a Cahill March brown either way. But like I said, you can just tailor this to whatever you're trying to imitate. So this is one of the few emerger patterns that I tie these days. And like I said, just in a bunch of different sizes, colors, to imitate whatever I'm after. I don't really tie much of anything else just because this is so effective at imitating everything within us. It's effective at imitating anything on any river system. So we're just going to go ahead and make a couple of loops here with our, and this is just a regular brown rabbit dubbing. We're just going to rope it. We're not going to throw it in a dubbing loop or anything like that. And just bring it just about to the 2/3 portion on the way up. And we're going to end up wrapping back over this a little bit, so I mean it doesn't have to be exact, but 2/3 is about my reference point that I use. And then we're just going to go ahead with our Flashabou. And don't run away from me here. And we're just going to counter wrap this, nice even spacing throughout. Be careful on how tight you pull on this, because this is a pretty brittle material and it will snap on you pretty quick if you go putting too much tension on it. So just stay nice and loose with your wraps, nice and even up to the front. And that's going to want to rotate on me just slightly, but like I said, we're going to be tying over that one. So bring this down, and we look good on that side. So what we're going to do now is just keep this out of your way, and we're going to take half of our fibers from our tail from the emerger shuck that we're imitating here. We're taking half of those fibers and we're just going to split this. So when you split this, you're going to work this down and around all of your body. So I know my fingers are in the way right now, you can't really see what I'm doing, but we're going to spin this around and make sure that everything is wrapped around. So all of these extra fibers are all the way around our body. And then we're going to pinch it tight like this, and we're just going to move it slightly back with your right hand. Go ahead and pinch with your left. And tie this off. And if you did it right, it's a little sparse on this side, but I can move this around just slightly with my fingers to where it's nice and even. If you did it right, you should have the rest of your Z-Lon fibers creating a little bubble around your body. So then we're just going to take our Flashabou here, and we're going to make a little loop in the back and go ahead and tie this off. And this just adds, you know, a little bit of flash, a little bit extra sparkle. Sometimes it can be a code cracker. You know, I mean, I'll tie a few of these. You know, I tie these with and without the little Flashabou Overwing coming back, and you know, I'll run them sometimes without it, and I won't be picking fish up, and I'll switch over to this, and for some reason just that little bit extra flash, whatever it may be, triggers the fish. So I mean, just experiment with it, you know. There's not a one set rule for every situation, and who knows, maybe it's, I keep coming out of focus here. Anyhow, getting distracted by too many things and forgetting half of what I want to say. But anyhow, we're just going to go ahead and trim all of this off around our eye. And that should do it right there. And then just go ahead and work your way back to about your 1/3 point. A little bit further back than the 1/3, we'll call it. And we'll trim some of that shuck off here in a little bit. And then what we're going to do now is just go ahead and create a dubbing loop. Now, to give this a good emerger effect, we're going to take some CDC and throw this in for, you know, our sprouting wing case. Now, we'll go ahead and zoom out just a little bit so you can see what we're doing on this. When you pick out your CDC, the one in my right hand, it'd be camera left, the one on the left, this is the one we're going to be using. As you can see, it's a lot wispier. The fibers are a little bit longer, they're going to be easier to work with, and it's going to give you a better overall impression of what you're looking for. This one, I mean, it would still make the cut, it would still make the grade, it would give you the effect that you're after, but this one's just going to be a lot easier to work with. So we're going to go through, and when you pick out your CDC fiber, or your feathers, just pay a little bit of extra attention to this, because it will make tying this pattern a lot easier. So we're going to go ahead and just pull off one side of this, and we're going to put everything in, so the butts are going to be in our right hand, and you're going to come back to where you peeled everything off and just make a quick trim. If you try and tie in all of these little stems, all the individual stems that come off of the main stem, it's going to make things difficult. It really is, and it's going to add too much bulk and just interfere with the freedom that you want out of these fibers. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and throw it into our dubbing loop. Now, kind of, as you can, let me make sure that the camera can see this. As you can see, this is like almost in the halfway point right now for as far as the length of our fibers go. Keep it that way until you get everything situated. So you just kind of bring these around and just evenly space them. So you see how everything is kind of spaced out, and then just go through and pull these fibers as close to the end as you can get them while still staying in your loop. And then just go ahead and give it a quick spin, and then just even everything up. And as you can see, we have a nice set of fibers to work with. So when you start working with these, just take and get one or two wraps, and you're just wrapping one right over top of the other, and just kind of peel everything back. Peel everything back, and get one more in there. So we'll go ahead and just take that. Now, you're inevitably going to trap a few of these, wrapping it like this, which isn't a big deal. I mean, just go ahead and take your bodkin and you can pick these out. And it's going to give you that nice emerging wing effect. Now, some of these longer ones, if you want to, you could really go through and just kind of pull them off, but I like to keep them on there. When it gets wet, it just kind of peels back and it adds to that, you know, emerging effect that you're after. Not everything's streamlined and, you know, tapered like it is with a nymph or a dry fly. When they're coming out of their shucks, everything's just kind of a mess, really. So that's the look that we're after with our CDC. And then for our final step, we're going to go ahead with one more dubbing loop. get a quick half hitch in there to, oh, that one didn't take. Like I said, there we go. Got a half hitch in there to keep our thread from moving around on us. And then the last step we're going to do is we're just going to take, let me see, this is just a natural rabbit, whether it be, I'd say it's a little tannish, a little cream, somewhere between those two. And we're just going to throw this into our loop, and this is just going to create the adult look coming out of the shuck that we're after. And like I said, just work this right up to your eye. I like it with the dubbing loop as opposed to just spinning a rope, because it gives that little picked out, little wispy look that I like with the emergers. And then if you want to, I mean, you can tease it a little bit more and really give it that overall look that you're after. But I feel with the dubbing loop, that's not really a necessary step. Grab my whip finisher here and just go right behind your eye, or right behind your bead, and that's it. Like I said, if you want to, you can go ahead and pick some of these back a little bit, but just for uniformity, but I normally leave them as they are. I just like that look a little bit more, but that's just a personal preference. However you care to tie it, that's up to you. But we'll just leave the shuck a little bit longer as well. But there you have it. That is one of the many versions of the all-16ths emerger. As always, any questions on this, leave them with me and I'll get back to you. But thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you next Wednesday.